Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I am Eva Polak and I am excited to kick off our 10-part series on problems in ICM. Intentional camera movement is a fantastic technique for creating captivating and artistic photos. However, when we overdo it, our images can lose the impact we desire. To avoid this, we need to find the sweet spot between movement and clarity. Here are some tips to help you capture stunning intentional camera movement shots without compromising clarity. Let's start with the basics. Ensure a firm grip on your camera. During the exposure, try holding your breath to minimize any unintentional shakes that might lead to unwanted blur. Remember, the key is to preserve some details in your shots. Minor movement can add a touch of artistic flair, while excessive movements will transform your images into abstract colors and shapes. Experiment with different levels of movement to achieve the desired effect and unleash your creativity. When it comes to intentional camera movement, one of the critical factors to consider is your shutter speed. The duration of exposure directly influences the amount of blur in your shot. If you opt for a longer shutter speed, the blur will become more pronounced, adding a sense of fluidity and artistic motion to your images. However, be mindful of the lenses you use. Wide-angle lenses work exceptionally well with longer exposures, as they tend to complement the movement, resulting in captivating visual effects. On the other hand, telephoto lenses will exaggerate camera movements, potentially leading to overly distorted and chaotic images. To strike the perfect balance between motion and clarity, it is essential to experiment with various shutter speed and lenses. Start with a shutter speed of around 1/15 of a second as a baseline, and then capture a series of shots at different speeds to gauge the impact on your photos. Observe how each setting influences the final outcome and how they interact with your chosen lens. Remember, there is no one-size-fits-all approach. The ideal shutter speed and lens combination depends on your artistic vision and the specific scene you are capturing. So don't hesitate to explore and push the boundaries of your creativity. With practice and experimentation, you will discover the perfect blend of motion and clarity to truly bring your intentional camera movement shots to life. Beyond the shutter speed, your aperture setting is another critical player in achieving the perfect balance between motion and clarity. This often overlooked aspect can significantly impact the overall look and feel of your intentional camera movement shots. By adjusting the aperture, represented by the f-stop number, you can manipulate the depth of field and create specific visual effects. When you opt for a smaller aperture, indicated by higher f-stop number like f16 or f22, the depth of field increases, making it easier to retain sharpness in the image despite of camera movement. Before you dive into capturing your images, try some guided intentional camera movement. Follow a path of a subject's movement while moving your camera at a consistent pace. This will help you to get a feel for the right amount of movement needed to achieve the desired effect. As you can see in this image, ICM often requires unconventional camera movements, resulting in skewed horizons and subjects being cut off in awkward ways. Achieving a compelling composition while your camera is in motion is undeniably crucial, but it certainly possesses its challenges. Nevertheless, there is no need to worry. We can confidently address and overcome these compositional issues with dedicated practice and a keen sense of balance. One of the most significant challenges in ICM composition is finding the right balance in your frame. The movement can create a dynamic sense of energy, but it can also make your composition feel chaotic. To address this, pay close attention to your subjects and the elements within the frame. In these examples, you can see how the lack of balance can affect the overall feel of the image. When you tilt or pan the camera, it is essential to consider the weight of the subjects and how they interact with the background. On the other hand, I found a beautiful balance in these images, despite the camera movement. As you can see, the subjects were carefully placed within the frame to harmonize with the flowing background. I am pleased how they turn out, and they are great examples of how thoughtful composition can enhance the overall impact of the shot. Leading lines are like invisible pathways that captivate the eye, effortlessly leading it towards the subject or focal point of the image. This can be a winding road, a meandering river, or striking architectural features. These lines serve as captivating guides, pulling the viewer into the heart of the composition. But that's not all. When you move the camera, something enchanting happens. The bright spots and points of light in the scene transform into the beautiful lines. It's like the camera brings these glowing trails to life. Imagination is the secret behind making the most of intentional camera movement. As an ICM artist, you can look beyond simple points of light and turn them into important parts of your picture. Patience is the key to mastering ICM compositions. Don't be afraid to experiment with different camera movements and angles. Allow yourself time to study the scene before starting your exposure. As you can see, I often try various camera movements before finding the one that fits the scene best. Sometimes it's a matter of try and error, but that's the beauty of ICM. It's unpredictable and exciting. While ICM can create abstract and dreamy images, having an intentional focal point can enhance the overall composition. By incorporating a clear focal point, you give the viewer something to anchor their attention to, amidst the dynamic motion captured through ICM. Putting all this technique into practice during a photoshoot requires a well-thought-out and creative process. Here is how I approach it. Before even pressing the shutter, I would immerse myself in the scene, visualizing the final result. I imagined how the subject would interact with the background elements during the camera's motion, foreseeing their positions and their roles within the frame. As I move my camera, I pay close attention to the subjects, making sure to position them with purpose. It's like placing puzzle pieces, ensuring they fit perfectly together to avoid awkward cuts and maintain a seamless flow within the image. The background plays a vital supporting role, and I study its nuances to align with the direction of the camera movement. Its flow had to be in sync, enhancing the dynamism of overall composition. The key to success is in maintaining a steady and continuous camera movement. The motion had to be fluid, like a painter's brush on canvas, creating an exciting and coherent effect. Before we jump into the technique itself, let's understand why finding the right subject is crucial for this creative style. With intentional camera movement, the subject becomes the center of attention amidst motion blur. It must be compelling enough to catch the viewer's eye and keep them engaged. The beauty of this technique lies in its versatility. You can experiment with various subjects, such as landscapes, architecture, people, or even ordinary objects. Each of them brings a unique element to the shot, enhancing the dynamic nature of intentional camera movement. So, how do we select the right subject that truly works well with this technique? Let's dive into some practical tips. Look for subjects that complement the motion blur effect. For example, strong lines and shapes in architecture or natural patterns in landscapes can add extra layer of interest to your shot. Moving subjects are ideal for intentional camera movement. People walking or dancing can create mesmerizing streaks of motion, adding life to your photographs. Don't underestimate the power of everyday objects. Something as simple as blades of grass or a flower can become visually captivating when combined with intentional camera movement. When you do intentional camera movement photography, picking the subject is just the beginning. It's like going on an exciting journey where the options are endless. Almost anything can turn into a stunning and captivating photo using this technique. But the real magic happens when you choose the right way to move the camera for each subject. It's like a beautiful dance between the subject and the way you move the camera. One of the crucial factors in making this decision is the shape of the subject itself, as it often provides valuable clues about the ideal camera movement that will enhance the visual appeal. Observing the subject's form, lines, and essence gives you insights into the movement that best complements its inherent characteristics. The subject's shape acts as a guiding compass, revealing whether gentle horizontal movements, dynamic vertical sweeps, or captivating circular rotations will unlock its true potential. Not that we know what to look for in a subject, let's venture out and put our creativity to test. Let's say you are taking a picture of a beautiful seascape. If the scene has calm horizontal lines, you might want to use gentle horizontal camera movements. This will make the landscape look even more vast and majestic. The photo will give a feeling of peace and serenity, making viewers feel like they are part of these tranquil settings. In contrast, a serene meadow adorned with delicate flowers and soft contours might come to life with gentle vertical movements that mirror the swaying of the grass in the breeze. Moreover, circular camera movements can beautifully enhance organic curves and undulating shapes in a rolling landscape. This technique produces dreamlike images that mimic the graceful dance of the natural contours, evoking a sense of harmony between the land and your artistic expression. On the other hand, a cityscape with its towering skyscrapers and bustling street might call for more prominent vertical camera movements, emphasizing the upward thrust of the buildings and creating a dynamic, energetic vibe that capture the urban spirit. When faced with abstract or unconventional subjects, such as patterns and reflections on water, experimental camera movements like zigzagging or spiraling can yield extraordinary and unpredictable results. These unexpected yet captivating visuals challenge the viewer's perception and offer an exciting glimpse into the world of creative exploration. As you can see, the magic of ICM photography lies in the fusion of your artistic vision with the subject's natural beauty. Each photograph becomes a unique and expressive interpretation, capturing the essence and emotion of the moment. Following this guideline can unlock the hidden beauty in even the most ordinary scenes, crafting visually captivating narratives that resonate deeply with your audience. As you know, the intentional camera movement technique relies on careful interaction with time. By purposely using longer exposure times, we can add a captivating blend of motion and abstract elements to our images. But in this process of extended shutter speed, there is a risk of overexposure. While we won't be delving into intentional overexposure here, it is crucial to recognize that deliberately pushing the exposure by a couple of stops, or even 3, can result in interesting and artistic effect in photography. However, let's redirect our focus towards a more intricate scenario. Situations where light intensity becomes overwhelmingly powerful for our camera's capabilities. This tricky situation offers an exciting opportunity for all of you who enjoy experimenting and trying new things to stretch your creative skills. Achieving a balanced exposure is crucial to preserve details or avoid losing significant elements in your photographs. So, what can be done to address this issue and enhance the quality of your images? Allow me to introduce an effective remedy: neutral density filter, a valuable tool in the arsenal of ICM photography enthusiasts. A neutral density filter is like a pair of sunglasses for your camera. It reduces the amount of light entering the lens without affecting the color, giving you more control over the exposure. Just take a look at these comparison shots. On the left, we have a photo taken without an ND filter, and as you can see, the highlights are blown out and the details are lost. But on the right, with the ND filter in place, the exposure is more balanced, revealing details in the scene. When choosing the type of filter system to adopt, a crucial consideration arises between two distinct options: rectangular and screw-on filters. The decision holds significance as each variant has specific advantages and limitations. Screw-on filters have a little problem. they only fit one specific size of lens thread. So if you have different lenses with different sizes, you would have to buy separate filters for each lens. That can cost more money and be a bit of a hassle to manage. On the other hand, the advantage of rectangular filter system lies in their adaptability. They have a flexible design that can adjust to fit different lens sizes. The only trade-offs is that rectangular filter system might be a bit bigger, but they are versatile and can be used on any lens you have. When it comes to strengths, you also have a variety of options. The higher the number value, the more pronounced the darkening effect on the image. For example, a potent 10-stop ND filter empowers you to extend your shutter speeds even in bright sunlight. However, there is a potential challenge that comes with strong ND filters. They could darken the viewfinder image so much that you can't see your subject clearly. And also, you don't have that much flexibility in adjusting shutter speed and aperture. So it might be wise to consider a variable ND lens filter. This type of filter is a great choice because it offers the flexibility to control how much light enters your camera lens. Unlike fixed ND filters that blocks a predetermined amount of light, the variable ND filter allows you to adjust the light levels easily. This eliminates the need to switch between different filters as lighting conditions change. While it might come at higher cost, a variable ND lens filter is a convenient solution that streamlines your gear and enhances your shooting experience. If you are working within a limited budget and find it challenging to allocate extra funds, think about engaging in settings that naturally offer reduced light levels. Alternatively, you can make use of any polarizing filter you already have, which can also contribute to darkening your images by up to 2 f-stops. It is important to remember that acquiring the right equipment is just the starting point. Understanding how to use it properly and effectively is the key. Modern cameras offers advanced features, including various metering modes allowing precise exposure control in diverse shooting conditions. Refer to your camera manual to find out. Additionally, the decision to shoot in RAW format gives you a powerful advantage as it allows you to fine-tune exposure during the post-processing stage. This ability to make adjustments ensures that your final images truly reflect your creative vision and achieve the desired impact. As we conclude this exploration of ND filters and their transformative effects on your photography, I'd like to share a personal approach that has greatly enhanced my own creative journey. When creating images through ICM, I've streamlined my process by exclusively utilizing a single lens in tandem with a variable ND filter. This approach has really made a big difference for me. It helps me take images no matter how bright it's outside. This also simplifies my camera setup, and I can focus more on taking pictures without worrying too much about technical stuff. Before we jump into the solutions, let's understand what causes unintended camera shake. It's a common mistake to move the camera just for the sake of movement without considering the scene's composition. However, embracing definitive lines can make a significant difference in overcoming this challenge. Definitive lines refer to those bold and unmistakable elements present within the scene. By allowing those lines to guide your camera movement, you are not merely adding motion for the sake of it. Instead, you are seamlessly integrating the camera's motion with the scene's key elements. This approach results in a composition where movement enhances visual storytelling, capturing the audience's attention in a captivating manner. Now that we know that following the lines in the scene is the first step to success, let's address the actual movement of the camera. When we move the camera during exposure, the result can look messy if we are not careful and the camera shakes too much. As you can see, the image on the left looks much more pleasing to the eye than the shaky one on the right. So, how do we avoid this problem? The key to minimizing camera shake is improving camera stability. Here are some tips to achieve this. Stand with your feet about as wide apart as your shoulders. Make sure your weight is spread out evenly on both feet. This helps you stay steady and not wobble when holding the camera. Hold the camera using both of your hands and keep your elbows close to your body. This technique provides a solid foundation for your camera, reducing the chance of unwanted movement. Remember, the closer the camera is to your body, the more stable your shots will be. But wait, there is one more point to consider: deciding when to open the camera's shutter. Should it be before or after you start moving it? I usually start the camera movement first, then press the shutter button. Employing this approach yields a more fluid appearance in photographs. While ICM relies on camera movement, using a tripod can be helpful. A tripod provides a stable base that anchors the camera, ensuring the intentional movement is deliberate and controlled. A gimbal head is a tripod head that offers additional flexibility and control, making it an excellent choice for ICM. Unlike traditional tripod heads, a gimbal head allows for smooth and fluid movement in various directions. This is ideal for executing controlled camera movement required for ICM. The gimbal's design lets you tilt, pan, and rotate the camera easily, ensuring the movement is intentional and aligned with the artistic vision. Please remember, hand-holding the camera versus using a tripod for intentional camera movement, it's a decision that revolves around a combination of factors, including the desired outcome, exposure time, creative intent, and personal preference. Both methods offer unique benefits and challenges, allowing you to tailor your approach to achieve the desired aesthetic and visual impact in your intentional movement photography. As ICM artists, we like to create pictures that may not look exactly like the real things. But even in these creative pursuits, having a clear point of focus is crucial. Without it, your photos may seem chaotic and lack direction, leaving viewers unsure where to direct their attention. This can happen for a variety of reasons. Let's take a closer look. For instance, we may try new techniques that give the image an abstract or dreamy appearance. Or we could aim to evoke specific emotions, like happiness or calmness. Another scenario is when we want to capture the vibrant atmosphere of a busy place. All of these reasons are totally valid and can lead to captivating and meaningful pictures. However, here is the twist. Even though our goal might be to create something unique and rich in expression, without a clear main point that grabs your attention, the image can feel not right. Imagine gazing at a picture of stunning colors and shapes, yet nothing stands out. When there is no obvious focal point in an image, it's like a ship without a compass. Viewers may not know where to focus, feel, or connect with the picture. They might even feel a little lost, attempting to decipher what the image is trying to convey. Let's look at some examples to understand this problem better. In these images, it's challenging to pinpoint the subject or where the main action is taking place. As a result, the compositions appear cluttered and viewers might struggle to find meaning or purpose in the photographs. Now that we know the issue, let's discuss why a focal point is essential in photography. Think of your picture's focal point as a spotlight. It's like a friendly nudge that tells the viewer, hey, check this out. When you have a central point of interest, it's like giving your audience a clear path to follow through your visual story. Think of your photo as a musical performance. Imagine you are playing a song on a piano. Without a focal point, it's like striking all the keys randomly, with no rhythm or melody. It can sound pretty chaotic and messy, right? But having a strong focal point, it's like finding the right notes and playing them in the beautiful sequence. Remember when you saw a picture that stuck in your mind? That's the magic of a clear focus. When something grabs your attention, it's like a mini explosion of interest. It's what makes a picture go from, oh, that's nice, to, wow, that's unforgettable. It's like turning up the volume on your visual message. You know how sometimes you want to tell a story or share a feeling through your picture? It's like having a conversation where everyone gets what you are saying without any confusion. Now let's explore some practical techniques to introduce a focal point that anchor your compositions. Imagine you are casting a spotlight on a stage. It's the part of your picture that you want everyone to notice first. It could be a person, a burst of vibrant color that stands out, or even a spot with something unique, like an intriguing texture or pattern. Just like in a play where the lead actor steals the show, your main subject becomes the heart of your photo. When people look at your picture, they are naturally drawn to this star element. It's like a magnet that pulls everyone's attention, making them curious to see what's happening. As you can see from these images, ICM is an experimental technique that embraces the unpredictable nature of photography. The magic of ICM lies in the camera's movement during the exposure, creating unique and mesmerizing images. But there is the challenge: envisioning the final outcome while you are moving the camera. The unpredictability of ICM might be intimidating at first, but that's where the real charm lies. Each shot is a learning experience. You will discover new possibilities with every shutter click. You will notice how slight movement, speed, or direction changes can dramatically alter the final image. Embrace this element of surprise and learn from each shot you take. To master ICM, experiment with different subjects, settings, and environments. Urban landscapes, natural scenes, and even portraits can yield exciting results with ICM. Adjust your exposure setting, shutter speed, and aperture to find the right balance that suits your vision. Over time, you will develop the skill of pairing your subject with a specific camera movement and setting. As you can see, ICM is all about freedom and creativity. There are not strict rules here, so don't be afraid to push boundaries and try something different. Now, let me share some pro tips to make your ICM journey smoother. Use manual mode. Manual mode gives you complete control over your camera settings, allowing you to adjust them according to the light and movement you want to capture. Focus on composition. Even though your subject will be abstract, composition still plays a crucial role. Frame your shot carefully, considering the scene's lines, shapes, and color. Experiment with shutter speed. The shutter speed determines the level of blur in your image. Longer shutter speed create more abstract results, while shorter ones may retain some recognizable elements. Start movement of the camera before pressing the shutter. This approach can help you achieve smoother, more dynamic, and more visually appealing results. It requires practice and coordination between camera movement and shutter release, but the end result is well worth of effort in terms of the enhanced quality and impact of your work. ICM is an exciting and unpredictable journey that every photographer should try at least once. Embrace the element of surprise, learn from each shot, and let your creativity flow. Remember, the magic is in the movement. It all begins with a simple setting on your camera, 1/10 of a second. And here is the secret. You don't have to change a single camera settings to create a diverse array of images. All you need to do is vary the speed and direction of your camera movement. Let me show you what I mean. Our first example is a cluster of tall trees. In this instance, I employed a vertical camera movement. Opting for swifter camera movement introduces more distortion, imbuing my compositions with a dynamic and surreal quality. Conversely, slower camera movements preserve more details. But remember that the slower you pan your camera, the more challenging it becomes to maintain a straight movement. Similarly, horizontal movement can be employed to highlight the vastness and expansiveness of the sea when shooting seascapes. Fast camera movement creates well-defined straight lines, while slower camera movement will introduce more texture. Let's now move to a landscape. In this case, slower movements result in a dreamlike quality where the landscape appears to flow and merge, creating an ethereal, almost surreal atmosphere. When photographing people, the pace of your camera's movement also significantly influences the final result. A slower camera movement creates an ethereal, almost ghostly effect, blurring the subject and surroundings to varying degrees. In contrast, a quicker camera movement yields more sharply defined figures, providing greater clarity. As you can see from these examples, finding the right balance is essential to creating engaging and visually pleasing content. Now that we explore different camera movement speeds, It's time for you to find your sweet spot. The key here is to practice, experiment, and analyze the results. Start by understanding the mood and emotions you want to convey in your shots. Decide on overall atmosphere you want to create, whether it's calm and peaceful, energetic and exciting, or something in between. Consider the subject you are shooting. Some scenes may require slower movements to capture more details, while others may require quick movements. Now here is where the lens choice becomes essential in intentional camera movement. Wide-angle lenses are ideal for capturing sweeping landscapes or scenes that emphasize the environment's vastness. They excel at adding depth and scale to your images. Wide-angle lenses are forgiving when it comes to camera movement. Their broader field of view allows for more extensive and slower movements. On the other hand, if you opt for a telephoto lens, every movement becomes exaggerated. So smaller and faster camera movements are recommended. Now imagine the creative possibilities when you combine those variations. So the next time you are out there with your camera, remember to consider both the speed of your camera movement and the lens you are choosing. It might just be the missing piece that transforms your ordinary shots into extraordinary masterpieces. Before we wrap up, I'd love to hear from you. What camera movement speed do you prefer, and why? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you for joining me on this photographic journey. As ICM artists, we've all been there, trying to capture the perfect shot with intentional camera movement, only to end up with unpredictable outcomes. But worry not, this video will explore the challenges and offer practical solutions to achieve consistent results. Let's dive in. One of the key factors contributing to inconsistent results is the speed of your camera movement. Whether it's a slow pan or quick sweep, the variation in speed can dramatically alter the look and feel of your image. Another critical aspect to consider is the angles of camera movements. Slight changes in the angle of movement can lead to vastly different visual effects. While it may take time and practice to find the elusive sweet spot, the reward of consistently achieving your desired outcomes and enhancing the visual impact of your work are well worth the effort. Let's not forget about camera settings. It's crucial not to focus solely on shutter speed, as aperture and ISO also wield significant influence over the outcome of your shots. The dynamic interplay of these settings is essential for achieving the precise visual result you desire. And you should adjust them to both the prevailing lighting conditions and the specific aesthetic you aim to create. To truly master the art of camera movement, consider these guidelines. Treat each image you capture as a valuable learning opportunity. After each shot, review your work attentively. Analyze how adjustments to shutter speed, aperture, and ISO influence the final outcome. This process of trial and observation is integral to refining your skills and honing your intuition. As you gain experience, you will develop an eye for how specific settings align with your style and the overall visual narrative of your work. Consistency in your choices will contribute to a coherent and polished body of work. As you can see, achieving consistent results with intentional camera movement, it's not walk in the park. But don't be discouraged. I am here to share a few tips to help you conquer this challenge. Tip number 1. Practice, practice, practice. The more you experiment with different movements, angles, and settings, the better you understand how each variable influences the final image. Set aside time to play with intentional camera movement, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. They are a stepping stone to improvement. Tip number 2. Embrace try and error. Take a series of shots with varying speeds and angles. Review each photo and analyze what worked and what didn't. This process of elimination will help you fine-tune your technique and discover your unique style. Tip number 3. Keep a photography journal. Note down the camera settings you use for each shot and briefly describe your camera movement technique. This documentation will serve as a valuable reference, ensuring you can recreate your successful shots consistently. Tip number 4. Be patient with yourself. Achieving consistent results takes time and dedication. It's a journey of growth and learning, and it's okay to encounter challenges along the way. Stay persistent and the results will follow. When you look at the subject in front of your camera lens, take a moment to delve deeper into your creative process. Pose the question to yourself: what emotion does the subject evoke? And think about how it can help convey the feelings you want to capture and express in your photographs. Take a look at these images. Each one conveys a specific emotion: joy, loneliness, excitement, serenity. Emotions add depth to our work and make our audience feel something when they see our photographs. Every subject you choose for your photos carries its own feelings. It's like a tool you can use to show different emotions in your pictures. Also, think about what you want people to feel when they look at your photographs. Do you want them to feel calm, happy, sad, or curious? By capturing the right subject and using it in the right way, you can make people feel the emotions you want them to feel when they see your pictures. For instance, consider a close-up of a flower swaying gently in the wind. Its petals appearing as soft strokes of color against a blurry backdrop. This image can evoke a sense of tranquility and serenity, inviting viewers to feel a moment of calm. Or think about capturing a bustling city street at night, with streaks of light creating an abstract tapestry of colors and shapes. This dynamic scene can install a scene of energy and excitement, making viewers feel the pulse of urban life. Or consider a picture of solitary boat on a mist-covered lake. Such an image can elicit a feeling of solitude and introspection, encouraging viewers to reflect on the quiet beauty of nature. Now that we know the emotions we want to portray and have our subject, it's time to master intentional camera movement to enhance the emotional impact. Experiment with different camera movements, panning or tilting. Each technique can evoke a unique emotional response. For example, a slow horizontal pan can create a sense of tranquility, while a quick tilt can generate excitement. Apart from camera movement, paying attention to composition is equally vital. A well-composed image can make or break an emotional connection. Use leading lines to guide the viewer's eye. Incorporate framing elements to add depth. Or apply the rule of thirds to balance your subject within the frame. These compositional techniques can amplify the emotional impact of your images. As with any skill, practice makes perfect. So get out there and experiment with different subjects, movement, and compositions. Don't be afraid to try new things and push your creative boundaries. Seek feedback from fellow photographers or your audience to understand how your images resonate with them emotionally. Thank you for joining me today. And remember, photography, it's not just about what you see through the lens. It's about what you feel and share through your images. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel for more photography tips. Until next time, keep capturing emotions and memories through your lens. Take care and see you soon.